used to be scared of him all the time. He tanned me, which means beat him up. So much, I reckon I was scared of him now. But in a minute, I see I was mistaken. That is after the first jolt, you may say my breath sort of hitched. He began being so unexpected. Right away after I see I weren't scared of him worth bothering about. He was most filthy, and he looked it. His hair was long and tangled and greasy. It hung down. You could see his eyes shining through like he was behind vines. All black, no gray. So was his long, mixed up whiskers. There weren't no color in his face. Where his face showed, it was white. Not like another man's white, but a white to make a buddy sick. A white to make a buddy's fresh crawl. A tree-toad white, a fish belly white. As far as clothes, just rag. That was all. He had one ankle resting on t'other knee. Boot on his foot was busted, and two of his toes stuck through. He worked them now and then. His hat was lying on the floor. An old black slouched on top and caved in the lid, like a lid. Stood there looking at me. I stood there looking at him. He sat looking at me, with his chair tilted back a little. I set the candle down. I noticed the window was up, so he had climbed by the shed. He kept looking me over. By and by, he says, "Don't you close?" "Very." "You think you're a big deal, big bug, don't you?" "Maybe I am, maybe I ain't," I says. "Don't you give me your new lip," he says. "You put on so many frills since I've been away. I'll take you down, pig, before I get done with you. You're educated too, they say. You can read and write. You think you're better than your father now, don't you? 'Cause he can't. I'll take you out of you. Who told you might meddle with such highfalutin foolishness? Hey, who told you could? The widow, she told me." "The widow, hey? And who told the widow she could put her shove in about a thing that ain't none of her business?" "Nobody ever told her." "Well, I'll learn her how to meddle. And looky here, you drop that school, you hear? I'll learn people to bring up a boy and put on over his heirs over his own father, and let on better than what he was. Let me catch you fooling around that school again, you hear? Your mother couldn't read, and she couldn't write, neither, before she died. None of your family couldn't read before they died. I can't. And here you are swelling yourself up like this, like this. I ain't the man to stand it. You hear? Say, let me hear you read." I took a book and began something about General Washington and the wars. When I read about half a minute, he fetched the book and whacked across with his hand and knocked it across the room. He says, "It is so. You can do it. You can do it. I had my doubts about when you told me. Now looky here. You stop putting on frills. I won't have it. I'll lay for you, my smarty, and if I catch you about that school, I'll tan you good. First you know it, you'll get religion, too. I never see such a son." He got up and he took up a little blue dollar picture of some cows and a boy. He says, What's this?" "It's something they give me for learning my lessons good." He tore it up and says, "I'll give you something better. I'll give you a cowhide." Conclusion. He runs off to Jackson's Island and meets a runaway slave, Jim. So this is the Mississippi. This is Jackson's Island. I made the raft out of toothpicks, and this is the wigwam. A wigwam is what they live in when it's raining. They head down the river to run away, and Jim's looking for the free land.
how you made, you know, your scene there. You
Oh.
said the raft is with toothpicks and stuff. Okay, so tell me about the rest of how you decided to choose what you chose to use.
Well, I decided to make the rocks out of plaster because from my brother's book talks, he used rocks. He used the plaster rocks as it. And to make the land to make the hills, I used the plaster and put this green paper. It's model. It's kind of a model.
Like
paper.
what they use for train tracks?
Yeah,
and
it's
things
like
that?
paper and it has green.
Yeah.
Fuzz. And we found some model trees for to make trees.
Stuff that you can buy, like when they do it for like train tracks, you know, like when they have like a train set and things like that, or just when you make any sort of did you get did you get it where did you get it, Hobby Lobby or a Hobby Corner or something like that? Yeah, cool. And then tell me how did you get the water there?
Oh, we just found some paint and